This video shows you how to use Tableau to visualize these 6 data points. They look very simple, but in Tableau, we have to do some extra data cleaning and preparation by reshaping this from the current wide format to a long format. And you'll see why I mean um, in a second. So once you do that, then you can create many different charts. But it's important to learn this ability or this functionality in Tableau to pivot the data. Let's switch to Tableau and go from there. First, I'll get the data by connecting to the text file. This is called the WHS site 6 data points. I have the data before I go to sheet 1, which is what we are inclined to do. We have to make sure we fix this data. Right now, all the F1, F2, F3, to fix this, the reason it's doing this is for whatever reason it's not recognizing the first row as the column heading or the name of the variables. So you check this use data interpreter, and that should fix it. So now we have country and the 2 years as the column headings. In the tidy data principles, we do not want years repeated as 2 columns. This is more of a cross tabulation wide format. We want to make the years repeat along the rows and the countries to be the variables on top as columns. So to do this, we could select this one and the second column and the third column. They're the years. You can select as many years as you have. Click on the arrow that's pointing this way, and then choose pivot. This skill is really important to get started with Tableau. You have to know how to pivot these wide format data to long format. So pivot, and you did the changes. You didn't change any values. You just rearrange them. So Norway is repeated twice. The years are the 2 years. Denmark is repeated twice. There's 2 years, and Sweden as well. The values are going to be the third column. So it looks like there's more information, but not really. It's just rotating the data. You should rename this as the year, and you can rename this as the number of sites. Okay, now you can finally visualize it. The benefit of pivoting is that you can use the country as one of the filters or use it for some other encoding such as color. So what we would like to create, let's say, a line chart. So you drag the year, and year right now is a string. You should click on the ABC icon and change it to the date format. It's a date. It's a year. So the dates go across the columns. So they go on top here. If you want a line chart, you say the number of sites along the rows. Okay. There's only one line because, again, you have to realize Tableau summarizes and adds all 3 countries' values. Instead, we want to show the country as separate values. You could drag it on top of color, on top of label, or on top of detail. It's fine. In this case, maybe let's use the label. Now you have Sweden over here, Denmark over here, Norway over here. You can resize this to give it a little more space. And you could actually label the value. So you could say how many sites are here inside at the end of the line. So you say number of sites, drag it on top of the label. Okay. And sometimes we might not need this y-axis. You can actually, I believe you can hide this. You can maybe hide. And if you hide this, you want to know the first value. So you go to label, and I think you say line ends, and then now you get this value. So this looks like a slope graph. You can hide this as well. I don't like to show year here because year is down here already. Okay, this is basically the slope graph that has 2 points in time and the shift. Let's do another graph. A very common graph many students will do is they will drag, let's say, country over here, get the number of sites over here. Okay, and start creating like a bar graph, let's say, like something like this. When you click on these icons, the show me chart types, he rearranges things in a way maybe that's not what you want. So you drag country back up here, and now you see the difference. But what about the year? Let's try dragging the year as segments. You could do that. This is 2022 in orange and so on. But you can also drag the year over here maybe, and now you have two charts. You could try to drag year over here and we'll see what happens. That gives you the line chart. So Tableau will make its best guess. And sometimes, you might not be the best visualization. Okay, what if you try this way? Okay, now he has the year, and this is a very common result or visualization that students will produce. I find it's a little cluttered. It's easy to understand, but it feels a little busy. So there's a few things you can do to make it. If this is the comparison you do want to convey, then of course this is fine. But you can move things around by maybe moving this to the right. So now it's comparing. As you see, just how versatile and how responsive Tableau is, and how quick, easily, and basically what you see is what you get. You can just move things around and try different ways of visualizing the data. And of course, you always go back to think about what is your point, what is the key takeaway, and what are you persuading the user to believe. And these kind of manipulations can convey different patterns or different intuitions at a glance. Okay, let's do one more chart type. Let's go open a new one. Notice country has a globe next to it, so you can actually just drag it into the canvas in the middle. It's going to create a map. Wow, it's like very, very fluid or very responsive. And you can show the number of sites as the size of the circle. So you can drag number of sites on top of size. And now you have the size of the circle. But which year are we talking about? You can drag year in a few different places. You can try dragging year to the left. And these are 2 years. You can drag year here. Now they have 2 different years. You can maybe increase the size of the circle a little bit. It's hard to gauge the difference in size when it's an area of a circle. So that's something that may not be ideal. Another way to use this map is you might want to zoom out a little bit. Okay, and with maps, you can do a lot of fun things like format the background layer and choose something more like outdoorsy. So it's a lot. You could really be playful with the map. Okay, so you can drag the country as the label. You can drag the country over the color. So many ways you can change this. And so I think that's all for now. You can move this to the left or to the right. But the key skill we learned in this exercise, this video, is that you have to pivot the data first so that you can utilize this way of analyzing the data, so that the country is the main unit of analysis, and the year has been pivoted to this long shape structure. So year is the second column with different years. And of course, the values are all here. So you could reproduce the old way if you want to create a table with year over here and country to the left. That was the old way before you did the pivoting. So you can get back the old format, and you can hide this. Most of the time, I don't need year because it's intuitive. Lastly, if you want to export this back into Excel or any other spreadsheet, go to worksheet. You could use export, but my preference most of the time is copy, and copy the cost tab. So if I go back to, let's say, Google Sheets now, and create a blank sheet, I can paste it now because I have copied it, paste the values. So this is really one of the more powerful features in Tableau, this ability to create any data table arrangement you want. So you could have, let's say, year, country, and number of sites on top of the value or in the text, either way. And you can go to worksheet and copy the cost tab. And when you go to any spreadsheet software and create a new sheet, you can paste it over here. So it's really nice to be able to arrange it in this way, and mix and match different data sources and produce these tables and put it back into Google Sheets. And then later on, you can move it to create a visualization in Data Wrapper or Flourish or any other software. I'll just store in this data table as one of your data sources. Okay, that's all for now. And this is a very quick introduction into how to use Tableau on just 6 data points, but yeah, you can do so much. Okay, enjoy.